This week, I am starting or maybe entirely playing a game called Autumn. Forewarning, I watched the trailer for it, and this might be a video where I read a lot, and it also might be like a low energy level game, so if that's what you're looking for, it's probably not going to be this one. I'm just forewarning you, if you're in for a chill experience, this is for you. If you don't want a chill experience, go away. I don't think it's gonna happen here. I recorded last week's video tonight, the night that I'm recording this one. I'm very tired, and I don't have the mental acuity to play an action-oriented or strategic anything. I want to get ready for bed. So we're playing a game called Autumn, and I might spend my entire play session, which I usually try to keep it to like 2 hours of recording per week. I might spend the entire 2 hours playing this. We'll see. So we're starting a new game. My name. We'll name ourselves Felix Van... Oh, shit. How am I supposed to type if the letter F? So I wanted to make the name Felix Vance, but every time I hit F, it makes it not full screen. So, seems like an oversight. I'm gonna hit F again, and then just delete it. Whatever. So let's see. Our alignment. Kinara. Extra prana from spring flowers. Does this mean something that I just don't know? Am I being ignorant? Like, is Kinara, Yaksa, and City, is that something that I just don't know? It might be. There's some other stuff that I saw in the trailer that makes me think that these might be actual terms that I just don't know. Extra prana from spring flowers. 20% less prana cost when planting trees. 50% less prana needed to expand territory. Items cost... Wisdom is 30% higher. Wisdom cost is 40% lower. I don't know. Let's do City? I don't know. What are these costs? What is prana? What is wisdom? In the context of this game, obviously, it's just a city. I don't know. Oh, we're a ball of light. What does this up here indicate? Oh, it's like our map? I don't know what's happening. Let's click this. Did you know a young tree needs a proper climate to grow? Not too cold, not too hot, otherwise it might not survive. I did know that. I grow my own plants. Of course I know. Okay, so a Mendoa tree, age 5. Oh, a rock. I have clicked a rock and now there's this. What's happening? What does that mean? Do I... Oh shoot. Oh, so when it's like young, adult, aging, and then spring again. So it's like spring, summer, fall, and then in the winter it moves the trees next to it. I'm like the plants, I'm assuming they're trees, to the next stage. Oh god. How do I even do that? What happens if I click this? Okay. Trees. Mendoa, prana cost 120. Deciduous flowering, average life 8 years. Quotes, inspirations, teachings. So if I buy a tree and I can plant it there. Did I do it? I guess I just... Oh yeah, I planted the tree. Tree Guild Puzzle. Gift Teaching. Oh god, how do I do this? Oh, shit. Yeah, I want to eliminate the orange ones. Damn. So close, but not quite right. Can I do it manually from here? Yeah. You have been gifted with a new teaching. I'll be so happy that I cut all of that out. There's no way that I can make that interesting to watch. Oh. This is what I meant by a lot of reading. I told you. And I will be reading it. I'm just curious how much there is. So, let's see what this says. Number 1. Morality. The foundation. Morality is the foundation of spiritual practice. It must, however, be remembered that morality or good conduct is not the culminating point of the spiritual march. As a moralist, one may set an ideal for other moralists, but to do this is not something worth mentioning for a spiritual aspirant. Spiritual practice, in its very start, requires mental equilibrium. This sort of mental harmony may also be termed as morality. People often say, "I follow neither a religion nor rituals. I abide by truth. I harm nobody and I tell no lies. This is all that is necessary. Nothing more need be done or learnt." It should be clearly understood that morality is only an effort to lead a well-knit life. It will be more correct to define morality as a dynamic force rather than a static one, because balance in the extraversial spheres of life is maintained by waging a pauseless war against all opposite ideas. It is not an intro-external equilibrium. If the unbalanced state of mind takes a serious turn by pressure of external allurement, and if the mental disturbance is found to be intense, it is likely that the power for internal struggle may yield, and consequently, the external equilibrium, the show of morality, may at any moment break down. That is why morality is, no doubt, not the goal, not even a static force. The morality of a moralist may disappear at any moment. I'm not sure about that. It cannot be said with any certainty that the moralist who has resisted the temptation of a bribe of 2 rupees would also be able to resist the temptation of an offer of 200,000 rupees. Nevertheless, morality is not absolutely valueless in human life. Morality is an attribute of a good citizen, and it is the starting point on the path of spiritual practice. Moral ideals must be able to furnish human beings with the ability as well as the inspiration to proceed on the path of spiritual practice. Morality depends on one's efforts to maintain a balance regarding time, place, and person, and therefore there may be differences in moral code. But the ultimate end of moralism is the attainment of supreme bliss, and therefore there should not be any possibility of any imperfections of relativity. So it says advocating for a universal definition of morality? Let's keep reading. This definitely does have a philosophical bent, but I'm curious to hear what its perspective on morality is, because it's saying that there cannot be the possibility of any imperfections of relativity, so that morality shouldn't be relative. But I digress. Let's continue. It cannot be said that the ultimate aim of human life is not to commit theft. What is desirable is that the tendency to commit theft should be eliminated. Right. It's like when we say defund the police, you know? And you'd think like, why are you bringing that up? This is a game featured in Itch.io's bundle for racial justice and equality. I forgot to mention that at the start of the video. I keep forgetting to do that. But this is a game that was featured in that, so it is actually a little bit related. The game creators intentionally threw their game in the mix to be donated to that cause. So the proceeds were donated to the NAACP Legal Defense Fund and then community bail funds. It is related. They are advocating for that you remove funds from the police so that you can inject funds into causes and organizations that would remove the possibility or the reasons behind why that crime is happening in the first place, reducing the need for a police force, and it would change what the police do even. Anyway, not to indulge in falsehood is not the aim of life. What is important is that the tendency of telling lies should be dispelled from one's mind. The spiritual aspirant starts spiritual practices with the principles of morality, of not indulging in theft or falsehood. The aim of such morality is attainment of such a state of oneness with God, where no desire is left for theft, and all tendencies of falsehood disappear. So I would personally say that a state of oneness with God, you could really, in this practice, replace God with anything. Any notion of a system that is bigger than you. I have one. It's quite different than a concept of a God, but I do take great solace in the fact that none of this fucking matters. None of this matters, ultimately, in any grand scheme of things. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't need to. Why does it need to? Because I think that's what a lot of this conversation about God seems to center around. It seems to center around needing to have it all mean something. I don't think it does. And it doesn't need to. I don't need it to mean something. We're all just... I hate to quote Lana Del Rey, but we're all just born to die. We're just waiting to die. You might as well just live your life. Live your life until you die. It's a-coming. Let's read on. Spiritual practice is not possible without such a moral ideation. Devoid of morality will divert people again towards material enjoyments, and at any moment they may use their mental power, acquired with such hardship, to quench their thirst for meager physical objects. There are many who have fallen from the path of spirituality and are spending their days in disrepute and infamy. Whatever little progress they achieved through forcible control of their instincts was lost in a moment's error in pursuit of mundane pleasures. It must therefore be emphasized that even before beginning spiritual practices, one must follow moral principles strictly. Those who do not follow these principles should not follow the path of spirituality. Otherwise, they will bring about their own harm and that of others. Okay, it was an interesting read. I personally really like philosophy. And if you also like philosophy and you're for some reason watching this is such a very niche, oh my god, of all the niche games this is already a niche like channel game project that I'm doing. This specific game, even further niche. I keep like seeing my eyes and they're just like barely open because I'm already ready for bed. We only got one teaching, right? Okay. So it gives us this icon, meaning that we read it. Okay. Acquire new. Okay, so I can acquire a new teaching with 120, I assume, prana, and I have 191. I'm not gonna do that just yet. I'm just gonna go back to the map here. How do I go back to the map? How do I get out of this teaching? Okay. Oh yeah, so this is our chest where we keep our teachings. Oh, so we already did it, didn't we? Yeah, we did it. Does it give us a new teaching if we do it again? How do I buy more space? Oh, is it winter? Oh no. Oh, so this little dial up here, it shows us what season it is. Interesting. So we had fall over here, and then it's turning, the dial is turning counterclockwise, and it's moving into spring. So we did that while fall happened in part of winter. So we have a cash tree, age 8. Mendoa tree, age 7. Oh, we probably passed a few seasons because this was age 5 before. This is the Mendoa tree we planted is dead. Oh no! Did we like plant it at the wrong time? Is that why it died? How do I buy new like space? Do I buy space? Let's try to plant. Hold on, let me read the hint again. Young tree needs a proper climate to grow, not too cold, not too hot, otherwise it might not survive. So I had to plant it in spring probably. Let's plant it again. Can I plant it right here? Where can I plant it? Right here. Okay. I did plant it, didn't I? Okay, well, while... What happens now? Items, quotes... I can acquire quotes with prana, but I don't want to spend it on anything other than trees. Ooh, when we picked city for our alignment, the lower wisdom cost was probably like lower quotes, inspirations, and teaching cost. How do I expand the land that I scroll through though? How do I have that as an option? Was there like a help menu or something? I'm gonna save and exit and see if I can find like instructions. No. No, shit. Well, I don't want to play a new game. Ah, shit. How do I... No, I don't want to save. I just want to load the game I had. How do I do that? Oh no. How do I... Do I really have to do this again? I will too. I will do it again. Let's do the Kinara. Let's just start with the Kinara instead. Because if I get wisdom from this fucking rock puzzle... Did you know you can make floating prana orbs act on special objects instead of absorbing them for yourself? I didn't know what was happening because you didn't give me any instructions. It's a different kind of rock puzzle. Oh, so it can like only take the top rock off. This is probably a thing where I can only like move adjacently, right? I can only put something like that, right? Oh, shit. Oh, damn. Let's spread this around. Okay. I want to put this brown rock on top of this one. This one is relatively easy. I can sort of figure this one out. Ooh, okay, I've already run into problems. Okay. Okay, we're coming along. Yeah, there is a sort of pattern to this. Yeah, we're getting there. There we go. Gifted with a new teaching. Oh, is this where we get it? Okay. Second teaching. We had to start a new game to get it, but let me just take a sip of water. Okay. Alright. Number 2. Ahimsa. I hope I'm saying that right. Ahimsa means not inflicting pain or hurt on anybody by thought, word, or action. This word is wrongly interpreted by many. Some so-called learned persons, in fact, define the word ahimsa in such a manner that if one adheres to it strictly, it is impossible to live not only in a society, but also in forests, hills, and caves. What does that mean? In such an interpretation of the term ahimsa, not only is killing prohibited, but even to fight a defensive fight is not allowed. By tilling the land, one may cause the death of innumerable insects and creatures under the earth's surface. Therefore, the use of a plow is not permissible. The followers of such an interpretation of ahimsa say that those who want to lead a religious life should not use the plow themselves, but employ other low-born people to do the same to save themselves from sin of destroying life. But if not following ahimsa would lead to hurt in some sort of spiritual way, would you not be inflicting spiritual hurt on these low-born people to protect yourself? Actually, before I continue reading, I'm gonna see if I can afford a plant. Oh, it's fall, we're going into winter, I probably shouldn't buy a plant. But I do want to see what this is. Unknown item, 0%. What? What is it? Oh, do I charge it? Is that what's happening? Just 9%. I don't know what that means. Anyway, I'm just going to keep reading while winter's happening. To save themselves from the sin of destroying life. Sugar must be poured into the abodes of the ants, no matter whether human beings have food or not. The poor must spare their blood from their bodies to save insects, the born enemies of human beings. This is no definition of ahimsa. It merely causes confusion. It is contrary to true dharma. It is against the very laws of existence. Even the process of respiration involves the death of numberless microbes. They are all living beings, and to save them, one will have to stop breathing. The administration of medicines to the suffering will have to be stopped because such medicines cause the destruction of disease-causing bacteria. If ahimsa is so interpreted, where will such interpreters be able to stand? They will have to give up even filtered water, because the process of filtration of water means destroying the insects that cause impurity. It is also not possible to drink impure water, because then it is likely that such microbes might die in the stomach. In the post-Vedic, is that how you pronounce that, age, this type of ahimsa was practiced in India for a long period, and as a result, life for ordinary citizens became very miserable. The populace viewed with fear the religion dominated by this so-called ahimsa. They were forced to accept an atheistic belief, and they left the path of dharma. Devoid of any code of conduct, and intent on giving first preference to their own selfishness, such atheists became a burden to the society and to the world. Those who wanted to enforce the so-called ahimsa-influenced religion became impractical and impotent by nature. Thus, there is a pressing need in the modern age to rethink these historical facts from a new angle of vision. Now, surely this is not implying that atheists are inherently selfish because they are atheists, because that selfish people don't need a religion or lack of one to justify their selfishness. A lot of the people who refuse to wear a mask in the States are Christian as fuck, and I would say that that's pretty selfish. But I digress. Let's continue reading. This age was followed by another, wherein another new definition of the word ahimsa was propagated. According to this definition, himsa meant to cause pain to living beings, but did not include the slaughter of animals for food. This idea is very much mistaken. If causing pain amounts to himsa, the slaughter of animals for food must also be called himsa, because the animals do not offer their heads willingly at the altar of death for this cause. Recently, one more interpretation for this word has been heard. It somewhat resembles the second definition described earlier, but it even lacks the simplicity or sincerity of that interpretation. According to this interpretation, ahimsa means non-violence or non-application of force. Possibly, it is this interpretation which has distorted most the meaning of ahimsa. In all actions of life, whether small or big, the unit mind progresses by surmounting the opposing forces. Life evolves through the medium of force. If this force is not properly developed, life becomes absolutely dull. No wise person would advocate such a thing, because this would be contrary to the very fundamentals of human nature. Let me think about that for a second. In all actions of life, whether small or big, the unit mind progresses by surmounting the opposing forces. Life evolves through the medium of force. I guess I don't quite understand what that's saying. But anyway, let's continue. The champions of nonviolence, so-called ahimsa, have therefore to adopt hypocrisy and falsehood whenever they seek to use this so-called ahimsa for their purposes. If the people of one country conquer another country by brute force, the people of the defeated nation must use force to regain their freedom. Such a use of force may be crude or subtle, and as a result, both the body and mind of the conquerors may be hurt. When there is any application of force, it cannot be called nonviolence. Is it not violence if you hurt a person, not by your hands, but by some other indirect means? Is the boycott movement against a particular nation not violence? Therefore, I say that those who interpret nonviolence and ahimsa to be synonymous have to repeatedly resort to hypocrisy to justify their actions. The army or police are necessary for administration of a country. If these organizations do not use force even in case of necessity, their existence will be of no meaning. The mark of so-called ahimsa, or nonviolence, on a bullet does not make the bullet nonviolent. This is technically correct. Just because they brought up this specific point, I think a lot of people back in June of this year, they had a hard time wrapping their minds around the concept of defunding the police, because I think that they assumed that that meant a world without a police force entirely altogether, that there being no sort of law enforcement. They're there to enforce the law by brute force. That is their function. I think it is worth looking into how often we use the police if you start thinking about them like that. Their purpose is to enforce the law as the last resort with force. If we want to live in a society where force is used as a last resort, why are we calling the police for everything, for a first resort? We really need to rethink what we use a police force for. Because I would want to live in a society where force is used as the last possible option you pursue. I don't want that same organization to be the one that I call for moments of crisis where other avenues can be used. You know what I mean? Why do we keep trying to use the police and the army even for things that they're just not equipped to do, and it was never their function to do? Like the army, why are we using the army to implement democracy in countries where there were dictatorships, or were using the army to quell unrest in foreign streets. But it's the same problem with the police. We're not doing anything to solve the root cause of why those things are happening, so I'm not sure what use they are. But anyway, it's a little bit off subject. Only a little, not too much. Continue reading. Those who are not adequately equipped to oppose an evildoer should make every endeavor to gain power and then make the proper use of this power. In the absence of ability to resist evil, and in the absence of even an effort to acquire such ability, declaring oneself to be non-violent in order to hide one's weaknesses before the opponent may serve a political end, but it will not protect the sanctity of righteousness. The meaning of the word ahimsa in the sphere of spiritual practice has already been explained. According to its correct meaning, one will have to guide one's conduct carefully to ensure that one's thought or actions cause pain to nobody and are unjust to none. Any thought or action with the intention of causing harm to someone else amounts to himsa. The existence of life implies destruction of certain lower forms, no matter whether there is intention of doing harm or not. The process of respiration kills thousands of millions of protoplasmic cells, whether one knows it or not. In every action, such living cells are dying and being destroyed. The use of prophylactics means destructions of millions of disease-carrying germs. The crop-eating insects, parasites, mosquitoes, bugs, spiders, etc. are also being killed in innumerable ways. This is necessary to maintain one's livelihood. It is not with the intention of causing pain to them. Such acts also, therefore, cannot be classed as himsa. They are to be done for self-defense. I'm thinking about abortion right now, and how this applies. And I would say that it does fall under this category of it isn't done with the intent to cause harm. It's done with the intent to reduce it. But let's continue reading. As a result of clash and cohesion within the physical structure of every entity, and also for the maintenance of structural solidarity at every moment, a process of formation and deformation is always taking place. Rice is obtained from paddy. Is there no life in a paddy? Paddy can sprout. It is also capable of reproduction. For the preservation of the physical body, you prepare rice by killing the paddy. Do you have any intention to harm anybody while preparing rice? It is thus seen that life depends on other forms of life for its existence. It is thus seen that life depends on other forms of life for its very existence. There is no question of himsa or ahimsa here. If this is conceived as himsa, living beings will have to subsist on bricks, sand, and stone. Even breathing will have to be stopped, or one will have to commit suicide. It is, however, very necessary to remember two things in respect of edibles. First, as far as possible, articles of food must be selected from among those items in which development of consciousness is comparatively little, i.e., if vegetables are available, animals should not be slaughtered. Secondly, under all circumstances before killing any animal having developed or underdeveloped consciousness, it must be considered whether it is possible to live in a healthy body without taking such lives. This makes me think of why veganism is not for everybody, especially in America. We tend to forget, I can really only speak for America. We tend to forget that there's a lot of this country that is in a very serious food desert where vegan options is just not realistic to surviving. You just don't have enough options. You're bound to give yourself malnutrition if you try to be vegan. Reduce your animal product intake where you can, but sometimes you can't cut it all out, you know? There is a financial and access barrier to something like that. But let's continue reading. The human body is constituted of innumerable living cells. These cells develop and grow with the help of similar living entities. The nature of your living cells will be formed in accordance with the type of food you take. Ultimately, all these together will affect your mind to some extent. If the cells of the human body grow on rotten and bad-smelling food, or on the fresh flesh of animals in which mean tendencies predominate, it is but natural that the mind will have a tendency of meanness. The policy of eating without due consideration, whatever is available cannot be supported in any case, even though there may not be any question of himsa or ahimsa. It should not be your policy to do what you wish. You must perform actions after due thought. For continued subsistence, a policy will have to be adopted for taking food, otherwise it will be against the code of aparigraha. What aparigraha means will be explained later. Okay. But seriously, how do I charge the statue? How is this happening? It says 9%. How was I charging it? Do I get another thing if I do this puzzle thing again? Oh. Why isn't it letting me? Oh, we reset it. I want to see if I can't get another teaching. Oh god, this is gonna take forever. I'm actually gonna pause on this puzzle. I want to see if I can't plant a tree while we're here. Oh, I missed the proper spring. Alright, there we go. Finally. God. Oh, I restacked that whole thing. And I didn't get a new teaching. Wow. They really wanted me to just do that for fun. Mendoa tree's dead. Only lives out 8 years. How do I expand? Wish this game had instructions. That'd be cool. Unknown item. I'm like holding my mouse button and stuff is happening. It only took me an hour into this game to realize how to do anything. Statue of Nataraj. Nataraj. I don't know what that means. Something is floating up into the sky. Don't really know what this statue is, though. Oh, Statue of Nataraj. The presence of the Statue of Nataraj makes dead trees gradually disappear, creating space for new ones. That's cool. There appears to be something wrong with the resolution of this text. So this dead tree is gradually disappearing. How do I expand? How do I expand? Oh, my little mouse, my little glowing orb goes away after this white wall, this barrier. Am I collecting things? I can't tell. It's my prana current prana is 215. Is it going up? 218. It's going up. So I need to... Do I collect it in the sun rays? I guess I don't understand what's happening. Oh. It's becoming fall. Do I... Oh, I spent my prana? How did I do that? I was spending it? How do you play this fucking game? Hold on. Okay, on the Itch.io store page, there was this link. Oh god. So my tree is officially gone. I have no trees. On the store page, it had like a click this link for a how-to guide of how to play this game. And I got an error 403 forbidden access to this page message. Jeez. You gave me no instructions. How do I play your game? That's one of my biggest pet peeves about a game, is if I have to look at external sources just to figure out how to play your fucking game. You made a bad game. It's so essential to have instructions, how to, or a tutorial in your game telling me how to play it. And you didn't do that. Why? It would have been so easy, and you didn't include it. What's that about? I am quickly becoming annoyed. Alright, so I was really ready to give this game like a fair shake, and I was really down to indulge in some of the like longer text entries here and read them out. But you haven't told me how to play your game, and I can't figure out what to do, even. Like, do the keys do anything? No. Oh, I hit Q. Cancel. Do any of the other buttons do something? Oh, no. I hit F, which apparently makes it go in and out of full screen. Do the F number... Okay, so those do something. Okay, I'm running out of options here. What the hell? I'm gonna do one last Google search, but I'm already annoyed. Wow, yeah. The link to your website gives me a 403 error message. None of your other links indicate to me how to play this game. I guess I just don't understand how you can have these huge text boxes of spiritual teachings, and yet you can't have one page of text that tells me how to play the game. Explain that decision to me. I don't understand that decision. Okay, so I don't know what me clicking does. This is me holding the mouse. I don't know what that does or means. You didn't tell me what any of it does. And nothing about the game is indicating what is happening. Let's look at the credits of this game. By quotes and inspirations by the respective authors and the spiritual philosophy teachings. BitOutsideTheBox.com/autumn. Cool. This could have been solved by just including instructions in the game itself. I just find that really irritating. This could be because I'm sleep deprived, but that just seems like such a glaring oversight to me. I don't understand how that happens. I guess I won't drive that point home any further. Man. And I really wanted to showcase this odd, different game too, but I couldn't figure out what you wanted me to do. So let me read the description. More than a game, Autumn is a relaxing place for spiritual learning and growth with a soothing atmosphere. In each game, you play as a spirit, which depends on the natural world for its progress in life. As you help the world around you to thrive, you receive vital energy, prana, in return. During the autumn season, while the trees are shedding their leaves, orbs of prana are released into the air, which you can absorb. Your own prana can be utilized to help and change the world around you and to obtain spiritual teachings. More than levels, puzzles, or in-game progressions, Autumn's focuses on the growth of the player. Okay, so I guess you kind of gave me instructions just there. But why wasn't it in the goddamn game itself? There is no excuse. That doesn't make any sense. You're making a game. You're not making a store page. The store page, maybe this is a radical opinion, and I mean this genuinely. I don't mean this sarcastically. Maybe this is a radical opinion. The store page is not part of the game. The store page is there to sell your game. It's there to advertise and showcase your game to people who are looking for a game to play. Is that ignorant of me? Am I being narrow-minded in my game design thoughts? I'm gonna try this one more time and try to see if I can even collect. Hi, yes, hello, please don't look too closely at me. It's very early in the morning and I'm editing this video. Yes, this is what the audio sounds like when I don't have a mic in front of me. But anyway, this is the point in the video where, because I had minimized the game so many times, or exited it and restarted it while recording, the audio got messed up, so it didn't, neither of my programs, because I have two softwares, one is a backup just to record the sound. Neither of my programs recorded the sound for this, so I recycled, just so that you can hear the music, I recycled the sound from the first session into this one. So if you hear the rocks clicking from me doing that rock puzzle, or you hear me opening the chest, if you hear sounds that don't quite fit what's happening on the screen, even though I'll be cutting most of this part out, give me a fucking break, okay? I'm just trying to edit this so that it accurately, and a little concisely, reflects my play session of this. I cut a lot of this out. Know that I cut about half this out. Let's just go with unnamed spirit. I'm not even gonna mess with the name. Alright, so what did it say? I already forgot. It would be really great if I could consult an in-game instruction. During the autumn season, while the trees are shedding their leaves, orbs of prana are released into the air. Okay, whatever that means. Press escape or right click to cancel placing a tree or item. Do I have prana right now? I do. Okay, so let's plant it in this spring. Let's just plant a whole bunch. And I don't know if they're gonna die or something, but whatever, we're just, oh. Okay. And I can't even do a puzzle this time because it's locked behind this white wall that you've not taught me how to do anything with. Oh yes, and right about here is where there's a sound that is happening that I don't have. So once I finally figured out how to collect prana, it makes that twinkling sound that you heard earlier. But honestly, who gives a fuck? Who gives a shit? Just you don't need to hear the twinkles. Just know that it's there. I'm telling you that it's there. So by being up in the tree, am I collecting something? Yes, it appears that I am. Okay. I hope that my trees aren't dying. The trees that I just planted. Do I help the trees grow by... No. So by holding left click, I like shoot off prana to do something. So I've got this tree, Mendoa tree age 4. We're going into summer and it doesn't appear that my trees are dying. Still growing upwards. I still don't know what's happening. I don't appear to be collecting any more prana from the leaves like I was before. It was a good idea to get these planted right as spring started. Deciduous and flowering. I'm gonna keep my mouse up here through autumn and see what goes on. If I put my little thing in the sun rays, is that something, or am I imagining it? No, it said something about prana from the life. Is that what it said? You play as a spirit which depends on the natural world for its progress in life. So I depend on the tree for something. I need to be here for autumn, I think. I really hope these trees down here make it to the next cycle. Do I collect these leaves? What does it say? Oh god. While the trees are shedding their leaves, orbs of prana are released into the air. So I just stay here. And just collect, I guess. Do I need to move around and collect them, or do they just come to me? It appears that they come to me from pretty far, even. How do I expand territories, though? That's what I mean. Like, shit like that. You could have taken those little instructions in your Itch.io game page and just put them in their own separate page in the game itself. Why wouldn't you do that? I don't understand. It would save me so much confusion. It's not a fun kind of figuring it out either. It's not intuitive. Don't want to plant anything in the winter. These didn't die, did they? Okay. I almost don't want to buy any quotes because quotes are inspirations or teachings because I want to be able to afford more trees. What happens if I buy? How much does a quote cost? Cost 50. Wow. Inspiration cost 80. Same amount as a tree. A new teaching costs 250. No. Sorry, I'm stretching back here. Ugh. So we collect in the spring and in the fall or autumn. And they will come to me from pretty far, too. I could fall asleep right now. Tired. Irritable. My eyes are squinting because they don't like that I'm keeping them open. It would be great if I knew how to invest points into expanding the territory. I'm going to stand up and do some stretches while I collect the prana from this tree as we enter autumn for the second time. I'm not even playing this game. I'm completely hands off. I'm just waiting for things to happen, waiting for seasons to change. I heard it. I was touching my toes. I heard the piranhas collecting. What's happening now? Just collecting. And for what? We're not collecting substantially enough to spend. Except for more trees in the spring, but even then these fucking trees are 2 years old and they're still can't grow leaves yet. The hell? How are they alive? How are they photosynthesizing if they're not even growing small leaves? That's not how plants work. They don't just grow bark up into the sky and then decide to grow leaves. Okay. Alright. We're coming back around to spring. I'll wait for the frost to go away until I plant our new trees. Okay, the frost is gone. That's the max amount of trees that I can plant here. Cool. Alright. These motherfucking trees still do not have leaves on them. That doesn't make any sense. Not even like a few. None. No leaves. How are they growing? Do you know how trees work? I guess I'm meant to be reading things while, seasons are passing. I guess maybe in the winter or something. The winter and summer. I guess I really only need to collect prana when the leaves are falling. So the end of autumn. Should I buy a quote? I guess. I don't know. Sri Mata Amritanada Mai? Is that how you say that? Friendship is like an elevator. It can take you up or down. Choose friends intelligently. I hate a quote. I hate an inspirational quote. I also don't really trust people's intuition if they live by inspirational quotes. If their life philosophies have to be something that are bite-sized and easily digestible. If that's what they need to understand larger concepts, they need to rely on bite-sized quotes. I don't know, there's just something about that it's not that I can't take it seriously. It feels like oversimplification on concepts that are complicated by nature. Things don't need to be simple sometimes. Some things can just be complicated. Like the concept of creating, keeping friendships can be a complicated one. It doesn't need to be summed up in a bite-sized bit of text, I spent 50 prana on that quote. The fucking friendship is an elevator quote. Could have planted over half a tree with that. This Mendoa tree. Oh, we have a different tree down here. I didn't even click. Jesus. I had a whole other tree. The cash tree was the one that was growing in that white barrier in the earlier game instance. Deciduous flowering. I guess I should also plant that in spring. Well, I don't have room to plant it. I can't even play this fucking rock puzzle game. Let's see. I got 208 prana. Let's buy an inspiration. Oh, God. Number 11. Jesus. The real work. Let's collect the prana from these trees while the spring is happening, and then I'll read the real work. God, I don't even think I want to. I don't even think I want to read it. Like, I don't know how to get rid of this barrier here. I guess I appreciate this game in theory, but you didn't tell me what to expect from it. Like, you didn't give me any instructions. And it's just kind of, like, irritating me. You know? This was autumn. This was autumn. Let's see what else A Bit Outside the Box has. My name is Nuno Donato. Computer programming has fascinated me since I was 7 years old. I look at games as a way not only to express myself, but also as something with tremendous potential to change people. I agree. Bit Outside the Box is my own project to imagine and create games having a special set of values as guidelines. They're fun. Well, let's talk about the game Autumn. Fun. Do you think that was fun? If you do, what part of that game was supposed to be especially fun? Growing trees. Planting and growing trees. Very fun. Why am I growing them? How do I expand? Clearly you want me to expand. There was an implication that there was expanding costs when I chose an alignment, but you didn't tell me how to expand. Or to even explore the cost of what it would be. What about that was fun? And what else do you say here? Positive and educational. Sure. Small and minimalist. Beautiful and artistic. Original and creative. It was all of those things except for the first one. And I would argue that it's not educational if you don't educate me how to play the game. I'm always looking at ideas and ways to create games that are hard to pitch. Yeah, that is a game that would be hard to pitch. It's hard for me to pitch it because I can't even tell somebody how to play it. Creativity and the human mind are things that fascinate me a lot and that I love to study and develop. Creating games has also been one of my favorite occupations because it allows me to keep exploring this field in new ways. For that reason, I don't write only about the technical aspects of game development, but also about our creative process, tools, and techniques that aid us, new findings and resources that can be useful to us all. Again, love the idea, love the theory of this game. Like, how is this such a wide space? How is this such a wide space? How do I get that? How do I expand? Look at that. Look how wide that map up there is. How do I expand? Who is this? Who's this? How do I find them? How do I play your game? That's all I'm asking. I spent my whole game session this week on this game. And you know, when I first started this channel, I was like, man, I really like a lot of these games. When am I going to run into games that I just really don't like? And I was like, well, there's over 1,000 games in this bundle. It said 1,000 items. Surely there are going to be some games in here that you just don't like. And sure enough, I'm finding them. This, unfortunately, as much as I want to like this one, I can't, because you didn't tell me how to play the fucking game. Sorry, that's not a very zen response to the game that I just played, but I couldn't figure out how to play it. What? At this point, I'm just repeating myself. I gotta go. I gotta go. See you next week. We'll play some other different types of games with instructions.